Hello there, this is Rom coming back at you with another smartphone office video. Yeah, still going through some stuff. Not bad stuff, but sometimes I gotta do this office video. Anyway, most men can become select. Most men. Because, I'm the one who talks about select and non select. And every now and then I get some guys saying, well, I'm non select and all of that. Well, here's the thing. And I got to shout out Cousin T-Taw for this. He'll talk about pre select. He'll say select, of course. And he'll talk about non select. But you got a large group of men who are in that middle. They pre select. And all that really means is they might have to do something here and there. They might need to let the barber bless them. They might need to lose some weight. They might need to put on some muscle. Might need to just change their clothes. Might need to get a new pair of shoes and everything. But they are in the position to become select. They just got little tweaks here and there. But if they have the mindset that they non-select, well, they'll probably stay there because that's the main thing. That's the first thing you got to work on is attitude. Attitude. And I've talked about that before, but you got to have the mindset that you can get women out here. You got to have the mindset, there's 4 billion women out here. It's not a problem getting a few. Like I always talk about this dude who did a webinar for me. He was saying any man can get 10 women in a year. Any man can, I'll say 12 women. And if you really think about it, I don't care who you are. I don't care. Shoot, you can be on the spectrum and still get some women. I've seen some guys do that. You can be whatever. But all that, first of all, it comes down to attitude. What type of attitude you got? If you got the attitude like women don't want you and all that, guess what? They ain't going to want you. They're going to go with it. Because if you got the attitude like, oh, women find you unattractive and all of that, they don't want you and all of that, boom, it ain't going to happen. That's why you get some guys, they'll come on my site and say, well, women don't want me. Delete. Women don't like me. Delete. You got the bad attitude right there. You got the bad attitude. So the first thing you got to work on is attitude. There's 4 billion women in this world. Even without doing any changes, you can get some of them. I don't care who you are. I've seen some women who have some bummy dudes, whatever, some dusty dudes, whatever. You can get a woman without changing. Now, if it's the woman you want, that's something different. But the first thing you got to have is an attitude. Like, you can get women, period. There's going to be somebody who wants you. Now, you want to make it easier, of course. You want to make it easier. Instead of getting maybe 10 women, you want to be in a position where you can get 100 women. In fact, I've said that on my Patreon. I said if you can get 1 woman, you can get 100 women. If you can get 5 women, you can get 500 women. Because all you have to do is whatever you did to get that 1 woman, just repeat it. Just repeat it. But it all starts with attitude. You gotta have that. You gotta have that attitude. Like, yeah, I can get women. I can do this. All right. That's the first thing. That is the first thing. You gotta have that attitude. Then what do I always talk about? Body game, overall appearance. In fact, my sit down video is talking about appearance, because women like looks. They like looks, but they like overall appearance. And if that woman is fine or something like that, beautiful, she got all these guys chasing her, that's all she got to go on. And plus, let's just be real. They go for shiny objects any damn way. So any man can work on body game. And that don't mean you got to be some brolic dude or some slim dude with 10 to 12% body fat. Every single woman out there likes something. You just have to work on whatever's the best for you. That's it. and then have some clothes that match whatever you got. Just make sure your clothes are right. They match who you are, like the style, everything. That's why they got clothing image consultants out here. Shout out Kevin Samuels. He was he was first an image consultant before he was anything else. And he would look at anybody and tell you what they would have to wear. But what you have to do is say first, get your body right. Get your body right. Get your body in the best shape. Women like bodies. And you don't have to be like some other person. Some women like a big old dude. Some women like a slim dude. Whatever. Every single woman has something they like. All you have to do is get your body to the point women start looking. And you know right away because they'll start checking you out. Because women, they slick with it. Shoot. They'll look you up and down, whatever. And then your appearance. What's your appearance like? Because you can shoot. You can try on different types of clothes and everything. You can try on different types of clothes. You can see what's up. And see, the beauty of it is, women don't hide that. As this Tantra master said one time, you know as soon as you walk out the door whether women checking you out or not. You know it. You know if you get a haircut and women like looking at the haircut, yeah, that's nice. You know they checking you out. If you walk out, you been like, you put on like 10 pounds of muscle and women start looking at you like, oh yeah. And meanwhile, if you out of shape and then your clothes all raggedy and all of that, you know that's not working for you. You can do that. And that's basic. That's basic game right there. Like I said, I talk about that on my sit-down video today. In fact, this whole, I say Monday through Thursday, I'm going to talk about different pillars of the game of man gets woman, the social strategy of man gets woman for people who don't like that word game. But then, even despite all of that, you still got to talk to the woman. That's why you got some guys thinking, well, I just got to look good and stuff. Yeah, they're going to look. But what do I always say? I always say it. A woman will look at a man and say he was all right until he opened his mouth. You still got to talk to him. Now, it's funny. I still get guys, they make that hard. How hard is it to say hi to 3 women a day? It's like it's not complicated. You just say hi. You just say hi. And it's just random women. And all you doing with that is just developing your muscle just to talk to women. That way, when you run into some woman that you really want, you can talk to her. I was just pulling out my car one time, and somebody walked past my garage, some woman, and she just said hi. I just said hi. It's that easy. It's that easy. A lot of guys who are having trouble, they just got lousy social skills. But it's something you can practice. You don't read it. Don't talk about it much. Start off by saying hi to 3 women, at least 3 women a day. If you can do more, fine. And it don't have to be about you trying to have sex with them or anything. Or even how good they look. It should be random women. Like the woman who walked past my garage one time and I just said hi, she said hi, boom. I ain't somebody I would probably holler at on the street or something. But it was just a simple hi. Shoot. In fact, the way I carry myself, women say hi to me. But then there's some other women who don't say hi. Like, okay, whatever. Because even when a woman don't say hi, then you learning how to accept rejection. It don't kill you. It ain't the end of the world. But then here's something else with that. When you start, as you saying hi to women, and even when you get body game and you work on your clothes, let the barber bless you, start paying attention to the type of women who are showing interest in you. Start paying attention to them. It's just that simple. I ain't said before, there's a certain type of woman that always shows attention in me. No matter what. No matter what. A certain type. They ain't ratchet women. They usually ain't ratchet women. I get some here and there. Usually ain't like some rough looking woman or working class woman. or bad and bougie women, something like that. I said, shoot, those like 92 octane types, those natural 92 octane types. You know, those women who go on for like those ballers, 100 octane types. And let me shout out Master Teacher BGS for coming up with the octane models. They usually ain't hollering at me. Usually it's the natural 92s. It's those women, they ain't wearing a lot of makeup. They natural. Shoot, even certain complexions and everything. Certain hairstyles and everything. They the ones who are friendly to me. So I pay attention to them. All you have to do is fix yourself up, have the right attitude, and just pay attention. Now, some of you might be able to get some ratchet. Some of you might be getting those working class women. Some of y'all might be in those environments where you got those shea butter and herbal tea type of women. Whatever the case, you just pay attention. And then you just do it by, you can start off by communicating. Which women say hi back? Which women smile at you when they say hi? Which women are trying to have conversations with you? And shoot, you might, and like I said, you might already be there. And then here's one final thing, man. Here's one final thing. There's a whole lot more, but these are just basics I'm just giving you. Just like women. There's a lot of guys out here really don't like women. They really don't. They really don't. If you like women, I mean, this is crude to say, but women, they can be like dogs. A dog can tell if you like it or not. A dog can tell if you like it. And women the same way. Because if you don't like women, you walking out here, shoot, you gonna have that look on your face when you see them. Even when you say hi. Like I knew this dude, and he would call women bitches all the time, but never to their face and never around them. And he said, and I said something to him about it. And I said, even though you might not say it to their face, they can pick it up in your body language, how you feel about it, how comfortable the look on your face, everything. You got to pay attention to all of that. You have to just like women. Yeah, they can have some issues with them. Well, shit. Yeah, but they can also do some good things for you. And that's how you got to think. You got to think. Yeah, they got some problems. You leave the problematic ones alone and only deal with the ones who are bringing something to your life. Shoot, if a woman, I was talking with this dude the other week. I ain't going to call his name, but shoot, women were doing stuff. Giving them money, fixing food for him, doing all this stuff for him. But see, he had the right attitude towards them. But if you don't have that right attitude towards them, you ain't going to get anything. You ain't going to get anything. And that's basic. And then if you're at that pre-select stage, you need to ask yourself, okay, well, why am I here anyway? Like I said, it could be just some basic stuff that you could change, that you can change. And I would say attitude, liking women, shoot, that's bigger than anything. If you just change your attitude and everything. In fact, I talked about that last week. I talked about that last week. And I used the example of Al Bundy. And I shared that episode where all he did was just change his attitude and women were all over him. Shit, that's the main thing right there. That's the main thing. Like, you're not totally non-select. Now, look, I'm going to just be real. There are some guys, they just jacked up. But there's always been guys that are jacked up. A lot of other guys, you don't have to compare yourself to that select man, that man on top any damn way. You don't have to compare yourself to him. You might not be on that level anyway, and you don't need to be. There's 4 billion women in this world. All you need to do is be in your lane. Because something else too, and I'll probably do a on-demand video next week. Oh, you have to, but I'll give you a brief clue to what I'll be talking about. You just got to stay in your lane. You just got to stay in your lane. If you, look, you know you ain't going to get, you already know you ain't a baller. And when I say baller, like one of those celebrities, one of those pro ball players, you might not get women like that. If you're not in that circle, you ain't gonna get women like, and that's cool. You don't need to be. You need to be worried about the women in your circle. Like I talk about myself, yeah, I like those. I'm not for the bad and bougie or ratchet or anything. Because one, I like to read. So I like that woman I can go in a bookstore with and everything. Or maybe go to a nice play with or something like that. That's what I like. That's what I like. I like a bit of class. But you might want to hang out. You might want to hang out at a local bar or something. Okay, which women are hanging out there? Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you look at every select man, they not getting the same women. You get some. I know one select man. He getting those shea butter, herbal tea type of women. They go crazy over them. But then I know a few like that. But then I know a few they get those like corporate type of women. And then I know some they getting those working class women. As a man, you just gotta figure out what your lane is and stick to it. Don't worry about what somebody else doing. See, that's a key thing. You need to like fix yourself up. That's why I talk about you first had an attitude like women. You still got to talk to them. I don't care what lane you in. You still got to talk to them. And then just fix yourself up. Just fix yourself up. Take in consideration where you at and everything, your appearance. Like I talked about my church friend. I always mention her. I got hit her up. She just got engaged. But she didn't like guys who had tats or anything like that. Very beautiful, but she didn't like tats or anything like that. That might be your lane. You might be in church all the time. Shoot, that's the type of woman you want. You gotta think about that. And body, look, women like bodies, but they just like different bodies. You just gotta figure out which one works for you. All right? But most men can do it. Now, unfortunately, there's a percentage of men, which is actually smaller than people realize. They not select, they not pre-select. This ain't the place for them. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know what to do with them. They might need something that I can't really help with. All right, but most men are pre-select. Most men, because the select, let's just say they 20%. The pre-select, and I hit up cousin Tito about this. He said 40 to 50%. All right, boom. There you go. There you go. That means 70% of men can be select to somebody. 70%. But a lot of men, they just caught up in whatever. They worried about stuff. They worried about stuff like their height. Let me talk about that for a second. Your height, I ain't mentioned anything about height in my books. I ain't mentioned anything about height because I met some guys and they weren't 6 feet, but they were still getting women like crazy. But you know what they had? They had the right attitude. They worked with what they got. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for today. All right. I might get back to doing a car video tomorrow. Might. Anyway, I'll get back with y'all. But most of y'all, remember, most of y'all can become select. You just have to want it. All right. All right. Because if you got a group of women, let's just say most of y'all can get 10 women. Come on, man. Come on. All you have to do is focus on you and your lane, all right? And then just make some changes, which really ain't hard. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.